Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your boy Jay Reed, and this is your market morning report on the Reed Report. Your go-to source for market news, chart analysis, and trade setup. So we're gonna dive right into today's news. First, disclaimer: like I always say, this is for educational purposes and entertainment only. This is not financial advice, so always do your own research before making any investment decisions. And make sure you also check out my affiliate links. Got some good, if you're looking for a trading platform like Coinbase or BTCC, use one of the links in my link tree or down in the description. Got some discounts going on. Also from all my streamers or inspiring streamers. Go ahead and check that out as well. And yeah, so we're just gonna dive right in. Sorry, I had a quick update, but yeah, we getting right into the market. And this is pre-market stuff. So this data was as I last pulled it. S&P 500 is down 0.4%. Nasdaq is down 0.3%, and U.S. Treasuries are at 4.4%. And that's down about 0.02%. Bitcoin's hovering at 105 ish. That's up 0.42%. And the Europe market is down 0.19%. They may have rebounded by now. But we get into some top headlines. From what I see, the OECD slashes U.S. growth and outlook on tariff, and that's all based on tariff uncertainty. The OECD has downgraded global economic growth projection to 2.9% for 2025 and 2026, citing escalation in trade tensions and policy uncertainty. So when you look at it, the CIO, the Chief Investment Officer of the OECD, his name is, it's a Paris-based organization, and his name is I forgot what his name was. Anyways, he stated it expects the U.S. annual real GDP growth to fall to 1.6% in 2025 and 1.5% in 2026. That's down from 2.8% in 2024. So in March, they had forecasted 2.2% and 1.6 for the next year. So both of those projections are down, except for, they're down. So he also forecast for global GDP growth to be 2.9%, and this is down from 3.3% in 2024. So this is assuming that nothing changes, and as of mid-May, if everything's left unchanged from mid-May, this is where we're headed. And this is, like I said, down from 3.1% for 2025 and 3% for 2026. So the slowdown is concentrated in the United States, Canada, Mexico, and China. So those are all of the the global economy is feeling the strain, and it's particularly between major economies. So this slowdown could impact various sectors, including manufacturing and exports. So we'll definitely take a continue to monitor that. And going into the next, Allianz. Is it Allianz? Yeah, Allianz. No, sorry. Yeah, Allianz SE CIO. This is where the CIO comes in. Sorry, Chief Investment Officer warns that a foreign tax provision in the U.S. fiscal package, the big beautiful bill, could trigger a 5% drop in the dollar and a significant equity sell-off if implemented. So a foreign tax provision in President Trump's big beautiful bill, the massive fiscal package, could trigger a 5% plunge in the dollar and send equities reeling if it takes effect, according to Lodvik Serban. The item introduced in legislation in May is actually Section 899. And it's in the details, and that's exactly what people don't spend enough time on. So the provision would increase tax rates for individuals and companies from countries whose tax policies the U.S. deems discriminatory. So that could be anybody. So if this takes effect, he's predicting a 10% sell-off in equities, a 5% plunge in the dollar, and a half a percentage point increase in U.S. Treasury yield. So we just mentioned that the 10-year was at 4.42%. So 5.5% increase will push it drastically close to the 5% mark, which is where we don't want to be. So these foreign investors hold a significant portion of U.S. Long-term securities, around 31 trillion. So that's including stocks and bonds. So he doesn't, and he also doesn't think that the markets have priced. A lot of people say this is priced into the market. That's the term of the day. Not so with this. He says, I don't think markets are pricing in today a full implementation of Article 899. So this could actually spook markets vividly. He said, adding that the measure would be a form of capital control, which we don't want to hear. So, these type of currency fluctuations of this magnitude can have widespread effects on international trade and investment portfolios. Investors should be cautious of the potential volatility. So be aware of that. Another noteworthy item in the news is Elon Musk, xAI, is seeking to raise $5 billion through a debt sale. So that they're seeking $5 billion in debt financing with Morgan Stanley managing the offering. This is to fuel their AI infrastructure based out of Memphis. So this comes as Musk is refocus on his businesses after a period of political involvement with Doge. So they've already raised 3.5 billion. So this is probably on its way to be fully funded. So that's another noteworthy. This move underscores the growing investment and competition in AI. So it's a space, definitely a space to watch for, and definitely some opportunity there as well. Going into Microsoft's second biggest. Let's see what the hell. Sorry, one quick second. One of my. Oh yeah. So Microsoft's second biggest layoff continues. Hundreds more job cuts. So when you look at Microsoft, they laid off over 300 additional employees as part of its ongoing restructuring focus and on AI investment. While AI represents growth opportunities, it is also leading to significant shifts in employment within the tech industry. So Microsoft eliminated 300 additional jobs. So that's bringing that adds to the Monday layoffs add to the 6,000 positions Microsoft cut last month, representing the company's second largest workforce reduction since eliminating 10,000 jobs in 2023. So, like I said, the CEO said that at an internal town hall, calling them realignment rather than performance-based decisions. So this was not about people failing. The quote, it was about repositioning for what comes next, and that's AI. So I think this is probably a growing trend where AI definitely creates efficiencies, but within that efficiency is people are going to lose their jobs, unfortunately. So definitely pay attention to that. You might want to make sure your job is AI protected. Or at least learn something about AI, so you add value to the bottom line. This was a interesting story. The Dutch government has collapsed after far right leader Geert Wilders pulled his party from the ruling coalition over disagreement in immigration policy. He says political instability in Europe can have a ripple effect on markets, particularly in sectors sensitive to policy changes. So the reason why I say this is because, like I said, they're a far right group, and their leader Geert Wilders has pulled his party out of the country's four-party ruling coalition. So the government hasn't, fallen apart. It's just these type countries have parliaments, and they have all these agreements. They agree to come together and to form a government, but he's pulling his party out, which is the major party, who's They're a populist anti-Islam freedom party. And they finished as the largest in parliament in the last election. They said on Tuesday he had informed the Prime Minister, Dick Scove, that all PVV ministers would leave the government. And this quote is saying that I signed up for the toughest asylum policy, not the downfall of the Netherlands, he told reporters after earlier announcing on social media that since there had been no sign off on our asylum plans, the PVV was leaving the coalition. The announcement followed a brief early morning meeting with the four party leaders in an already fractious and fragile coalition, the first to include the far right. This is the first time they've been in there, which has struggled to reach consensus much since it was sworn in. So this may be I won't say this just seems like it's a trend. A lot of far right groups are pushing isolationism as a government policy, and very hard line on no immigration. So we'll continue to monitor that. I mean, to see if this is something like a growing trend that spreads. So let's go to the charts. Got some pre-market moves. Bumble. Bumble is I believe it's a dating app service. I want futures. I want Bumble. Yeah. So they're on the Nasdaq, but they are down significantly pre-market. They're down 5.1%, and that's after a J.P. Morgan downgrade. They're basically saying that. Let me see. They're basically saying that predicts a drop in Bumble's payers this quarter due to falling U.S. download trends, potentially affecting revenue and user growth estimated for the second half. So they're just saying the whole sector is going down, and that's why they're downgrading the company, because they feel like their revenue is going to be hit. Another one that's another early or pre-market mover is EcoStar. They're down about 3%. And this was they're actually up, but prior to me putting this script together, they were down about 3%. So they've rebounded a little bit. I thought they would rebound because you can see they bounced off of this fib level, which is a 0%, and they look like they may retrace at least maybe back up to the 100% level. So they were down pre-market, but this may be a good opportunity to get in, depending where it lies at 9:30. As you can see, the momentum was down, but it's turning. So we'll look for some change on that. RSI is definitely oversold right now, so it could be a good buy opportunity. Pinterest. Pinterest is up. It was up 3.8%, and that's after a JP Morgan upgrade. So JP Morgan upgraded from neutral to overweight, raising the price target from 35 to 40, boosting shares by 3.2% to 32.98 in pre-market trading. So, and I don't let's see what that's based on. From overweight to neutral, they don't give much detail on it, but it's definitely something to look at. See if they give detail. No, not much detail. Price of 40. It's probably a technical outlook here. We got some resistance at 33.64. So if you're looking to get in it may fall after the open. So definitely be cautious. Like I said, this is all for entertainment purposes only. This isn't financial advice. Make sure you consult your financial advisor. And then last but not least, we have Moonlake. And this is one that I missed. I won't say I missed it, but I definitely wasn't. Definitely didn't pay attention to yesterday's jump. Jumped about 5% yesterday. Right now, it's up. It was up 19%, but it looks like it's up a lot more than that. It's definitely closed at 37. Now it's at pre-market 48.45. And this is um jumps 23%. Why a $3 billion Merck offer could, and they're this is based on a acquisition by Merck wants to buy the biotech company for $3 billion in an attempt to top up its drug pipeline. That sounds weird. But yeah, so there, you probably missed out on this one. This is not something that I would jump in and thinking it's gonna run. I would wait for some type of significant pullback, and then ride that news. We missed that news. So that brings me to my watch list for the week. We all know Coinbase was on there. Ticker is Coin. Down a little bit pre-market. Actually, let me see. They closed at 246. I'm sorry, they're up pre-market. And RSI is curling up, like I was saying. So it's moving from an oversold position, experience some down, and momentum's changing right here. So that could be, definitely we could be on the move. Right now I have a target of about 260, 260, 259, 260, something like that. Um, so that would be right at the zero mark on the Fibonacci. So definitely take a look at that. And now I also talked about Best Buy. Best Buy is moving back up they bounced off of this, the zero mark. So they established a new trend up. They moved to the upside of the VWAP. They're moving back to the 200 EMA. RSI is up. Momentum's changed. Didn't have a lot of strength in it, but hopefully it probably consolidates somewhere around the 200 EMA, and then we go to some of these levels up here like 72.92 or even higher. So that's looking to be a good play for the week. Qualcomm, got Qualcomm here. Qualcomm is they closed at 146, so they're a little flat right now. RSI is in a mid level. Not much movement expected on this one. So this is probably still a wait and see. Um, testing the support around 143. Remember, I said that's probably my buy-in, 143. But if it breaks that, a bounce, we could go to 147. That's up in this area here. But if it breaks below that, we could go down to 140, 141.72. So that's a little bit down here on this support level. So we got that. Then we got Alcoa. I probably picked the wrong stock on the aluminum. Alcoa even though they're up a little bit pre-market, they're holding above this level. Could swing them to 27, but their competitor is doing a lot better. Because their shares fell after President Trump doubled tariffs, and this is because most of their production is done in Canada, and some of their competitors are, their production is done in the U.S. So they're going to be more susceptible to tariffs. It's going to increase their cost of production. So we'll watch this one. Like I said, it is up a little bit pre-market. Actually, it's flat. It's right where it closed pre-market. But we'll continue to watch this one. There may be some competitors that are a little bit more aligned with this 50% increase policy. So we'll and as you can see, it bounced off of the 200 EMA and went down. So we'll watch that one. And then we have PayPal. PayPal is currently, they were at 70.93 when I did this. Support is around 70.09, so they have good support at 70.09. move above 70.45, which they are right now, could target 71 or 73. So that's what we're looking for. However, it may test the 67.50, which is about here. So we got there's support there as well. So if you're if you're risk adverse, you probably want to wait till test here. If you just want to see what happens, jump in now. And that's we'll take a look at a couple more. Palantir, they're not on my watch list, but the Mag 7 stuff. Got Palantir. Palantir is they're up pre-market as well. So they may push some new highs. They may continue this uptrend. We got a ceiling here at 133.50. So that's something to watch out. If it breaks that, then we could keep going. As you can see, the momentum is building. RSI moving into an oversold level, but it is trending up. The strength is not much. So this probably could be a short-lived increase, and maybe we fall back to some of these to 128.26, something like that. Another stock that I have been watching is Nvidia. Nvidia's cooled off a little bit from the uptick that we had in the last few days. It is coming off of a downtrend momentum, but the RSI is also still down on a downtrend. So probably want to stay away from Nvidia right now. C Limited. C Limited is one of my babies here. I like this stock. I don't know why. They have Asian equities traded in the U.S. as American Depository receives nudge lower to open the week. So, maybe they're gonna cool off a little bit, but in the long run, I think we could definitely see some of these levels maybe go over 200. Again, not financial advice, just my opinion and my assessment. Maybe OWN. Oh, I forgot to talk about OWN. Did I talk about that? This is definitely one of my. Oh, I talked about it. I talked about OWN. Let me see. Rivian. I believe in Rivian. I think they make way much better cars than Tesla. Definitely better looking. I think their price point's lower. But for some reason they're not a good stock. And so I'll probably look into the technicals on that. Volume's pretty high, 3.19 million. Pre-market, they are up a few pennies pre-market, so probably gonna test back to the 200 EMA and then maybe lose some momentum and continue down. Anything else worth looking at? Big Bear AI has cooled off a little bit, even though pre-market they are up over $4. That seems to be their sweet spot, kind of hover in that range right now. So we'll look for that to break out. Anything? One of my followers recommended what's it called? REGN Regeneron. It hasn't done much. So if you're listening out there, I forgot his name. Even though momentum is trending, it's flagging, it's consolidating here. So we could get a move to the upside, but I don't, it's too risky for me. So that's pretty much the show for today. Make sure you check out some of my affiliates. Like I said, if you're looking for a great platform to trade crypto, check out btcc.com. If you use the link in my bio or in the link tree or in the comments, you'll get a 10% bonus. When you sign up. If you're new and you just wanna hold, you just want to create your wallet, start buying crypto and not actually trade it. A good option is Coinbase. You can use the link in my bio as well to streamline the setup for that. And want to know what I use, go to Streamlabs. It's a great place for creators to just to stream. I mean, I'm having some issues, trying to figure it out with the with frames and stuff like that skipping, so I apologize for that, but we're definitely we're going to get it figured out. And so Streamlabs is a great place to start at. And Bluehost, if you're looking, if you're a creator, you got a blog, or got a website that you want to host yourself and you're technically savvy, check out Bluehost. The link is also in my bio. You'll get some good offers there. So that's your Tuesday morning prep. The chart setups are here. You got the hot news, the latest news. So markets in times like this, when markets are tense, you want to stay focused and stay disciplined. So like I said, check out my link tree and my tools, resources, and bonuses, and that's a wrap. Peace.